I'd like to describe the parts that come in your kit on the WP Dual. You got your gasket, it's O-ring, metal O-ring gasket. You have your 3 bolts to bolt it to the exhaust manifold. You have your waterline relocation kit and all the hardware supplied in it. You got your 3 clamps, you got your rear hanger, your muffler clamps. These right here are the brackets that attach on the back to hold the muffler, and then the springs that actually hold the muffler onto the pipe. There are 5 pipes that come with the dual kit. Starting with this pipe right here, this connects directly to your exhaust manifold. It is a cat delete option. If you want cat back option, you'd use this. If you don't have a muffler, it's a little bit louder, but it is legal to drive on the road. This one right here could be considered racing use only. Anyhow, moving forward, you put this one on. The second pipe is this other, it'll be wrapped. It slides right over this one. There'll be a staircase that way all the way through. Third pipe will be, it'll slip over this one. And then of course your last one will be the wide. The silencers supplied with the kit are made by Aero Manufacturing out of Italy. It's the best silencers I could find. They come with a dB killer, makes it a little quieter. This one particular one right here has been cut off an inch. It was too quiet to begin with. So if you just stick them in stock length, if they'll come in your package, they're probably too quiet. For me, that is, I cut an inch off. Only cut an inch off at a time to get to the desired loudness that you're looking for. They come in titanium, or this is black stainless steel. The tools needed for the install require a T27 Torx bit, a T40, a 4mm Allen wrench, flat screwdriver, a hook, spring hook, or else needle nose vice grips, 15mm wrench, and a 10mm wrench. And then for your sockets, you need a 10mm, a 9/16, and also a 15mm. And I like to use this cordless impact, makes the install go much easier. The first thing we'll need to do on the install is remove our stock exhaust. To do so, you first must take the T27 Torx bit out, T40 Torx bit, and these 4 T40 Torx bits. This bolt located in the corner of the floorboard, and this one located on the inside of the fender well. Next, you'll want to remove all the various springs holding the muffler to the cat, and on this option we're going to remove the cat also. This whole process here is probably the hardest part of the whole install. Next, we're going to want to install the waterline relocation bracket. First, we'll need to remove the stock clamp that holds it down. 10mm. Scoot the water line out of the way. There's also a little rubber pieces. Set those aside for the moment. Now we're going to put this here countersunk bolt in place where it's threaded in the frame. Tighten that down. Then you're going to want to put your piece of rubber underneath here, and then your clamp will go right here on the stud, making sure that the rubber is touching the aluminum on here. You don't want any metal to metal contact, or it'll rub a hole in it. So all this can be done from the top side of the vehicle. We're just doing it on the bottom side so we can get you a better picture of it. And then your clamp, like I say, make sure that it's rubber all the way around it. Keep it from rubbing metal to metal. Once we have the water line bracket all tightened up, then we'll want to go back here to the brake line. It's on the transmission cross member. This brake line, this has already been done, but there's a wire tie right here. You'll want to cut the wire tie loose. On the driver's side, you want to take by hand and bend this steel line out. On the passenger side, you want to bend this down. So it's just going to bend it down out of the way where we can come through here with the exhaust pipe. You may want to wire tie it back. I usually just leave mine hanging there as long as it's not touching metal to metal. You're fine.
The last modification is we're going to move the fuel overflow lines. We're coming from the middle of the vehicle going to the back now, and you're going to have to take this bolt out, pull the tubes over here in the middle of the swing arm out of the way. They originally came from over here, and we're just moving them over here out of the way so they're not dripping on the exhaust. The next thing you'll need to do is take out the T40 bolts out of the body and put in the L brackets and the Allen bolts that are supplied in the kit, and the brackets need to be facing on the inside.
Okay, as you can see, this one right here is the cat delete option. It has the muffler on it, so you mount it directly to the exhaust manifold coming through this area right here. Second, we'll take the pipe that has the wrap on it, stick it through there, and this here you may have to twist it, usually to the right to get it fit. Stick that on that, run it all the way up. Take your next section of pipe. Again, the female end goes over the male end, like so. And then come on back to the back. Tight fit. Alright. And then stick your 1.5-inch bolt, which is supplied with a kit. And a nut on it. Then you can go ahead and tighten this back bolt up. Tighten this up and then put the mufflers on up at the top, which will hold this pipe where it needs to be. And all this back will get tightened up first before we ever put the clamps on underneath the vehicle. A better view of this right here hanger. A while ago we couldn't get a good view, so we shot another shot. This right here, the grommet goes on the hanger right here, and the bolt comes in through the outside. The hole is already in the frame right here on this cast part. Stick the 1.5-inch bolt with the lock nut on it. The washer that's on the rubber piece needs to be on the outside. Like I say, go ahead and tighten this all the way up tight at this point. Then you can move up to the top and put the mufflers on the vehicle and get them tight as well. You can go ahead and put your spring on right here. And the way this here is oriented is, of course, your L is facing in. Take your bolt, go through the L first, then through this bracket, and then into this. And then do the same thing on the other side. That way it'll have your correct spacing for each side. That's the way it was made to do. So just go ahead and tighten up these. Again, we'd already tightened up 9/16 hanger bolt up on the bottom. Tighten these here up, the springs on, make sure everything's centered, tighten it all up before we move on underneath to put the clamps on. I didn't mention earlier, but if you don't tighten the bolts all the way tight onto the exhaust manifold. There's enough plate give in this to where this will move back and forth to kind of get you the center of this, you know, between the water line and the frame right here. So we tighten that up. Next thing we want to do is take these clamps. Of course, there's a wide end and a narrow end. They'll go on the same way every time. You stick it around like so. This is where the impact is kind of handy. Another clamp. It's okay to stretch them out. They'll be in right around. Okay, let's move back to the front. Now we have them all on there. So this, you just take the pipe and you can move this. This one right here is the one that's gonna, is the most critical as far as it being close to the side of the vehicle. Just find where it has the most clearance. Tighten on their clamp. You want to tighten up on the small side first, and then the big side second. So there's a sweet spot. Back to this, working our way from the front to the back. You don't want the clamp, also you don't want the clamp too far pushed back, as it'll be trying to tighten up the big side on the little end of the clamp. Just scoot it back away from all the way bottomed out. Tighten up the small side. And a bigger side all the way through. Again, check your clearance. This pipe can be twisted one way or the other to give you more or less clearance right there. And the same thing, around your transmission bracket is another close area. And then that's pretty much it. So essentially the WP Dual and the Bagger or the Outsider are the same install underneath all the way to the back of the vehicle. It's just the Dual, you have a little more work to do up on the top and the outside of the back, whereas the Outsider and the Bagger connect right there, and then you just bolt your muffler on the back and you're finished. Thanks. I hope this helped in your install.